Hey class, this is just a short video because the other night when we had some technical difficulties and I was trying to share my screen, and I just wanted to show y'all a few things. Mainly if you are struggling to just navigate the course. I know some of y'all were mentioning typing the numbers in was taking so much time, and as I said the other night, you should not be typing numbers in. You really should be at this point learning how to let Excel do everything for you. And both the homework and the discussions have data sets already completed for you that allow you to, import it in Excel so that you shouldn't do any typing yourself. So I just wanted to make sure. It's what I was trying to show y'all for about 10 minutes before I realized that y'all weren't seeing my screen on in seminar the other night. So anyway, you should right now on the screen be seeing the course. First thing I'm going to show you is when you do the discussions and you use the discussion data sets, why you should not be typing those numbers in at all. So I'm going to go to content right here and then go down to course resources, course documents, and then the discussion Excel database. All right. So, these are the ones we use frequently. We've already been using them each week of the course in the discussions. We won't use them every week of the course, but we will certainly be using them, frequently, as y'all can already tell. So I'll just go to houses. And I'm going to click on the houses data set. And one of the things I was trying to show y'all the other night is you should not, let's suppose I want to look at acres as a quantitative variable. I should not have to sit there and type all these acres numbers in Excel by myself. That would be so tedious and so much room for human error just on copying these numbers into the spreadsheet. So what you want to do is you want to scroll all the way down. I'm scrolling, because when you open up these data sets, at the bottom, when you scroll down, there's a download tab. And so that's how you're going to already import it into Excel. So I'm clicking download. And I know it's going to be hard to see at the bottom of y'all's screen because it's kind of getting cut off on the recording. But there'll be in the bottom left corner an Excel spreadsheet called houses, and you just click on that and wait a few seconds, and there is the data set, but now open in Excel, so that you ought to be able to go do whatever you need to do. Like suppose I wanted to do descriptive statistics on acres. Well, if you've got your tool pack installed, you could go up here to data. Come over here to data analysis, over here to the right, click on data analysis. Now, if you did not install the tool pack, that won't show up. The data analysis won't show up. And then I'm going to go to descriptive statistics, click OK. Where it says input range and the cursor is flashing right in there, I am going to go click and drag down the acres. And since I did not include the label, I only clicked and dragged down the numbers, then I'm not going to check the label box. And if I check that, it's going to not include the first number, and I want it to. So leave that unchecked. Now, if you highlight the whole row, including the column heading, then you would want to check off the box that says labels in the first row. Otherwise, summary statistics. And the way it is right now, if you click OK, it'll be fine. It'll just put your output in another on another sheet, which is fine. But I like to sometimes see all my stuff on the same sheet. So if you want to see everything on the same sheet, then I'm going to click output range and click my mouse in the output range box. And after I click my mouse in the output range box, I'll just click a cell, a blank cell, so that it's going to start my output in cell O12 where I clicked. So then I'll click OK, and there's my output. I'm going to stretch between row or column O and P so I can see all the names of these things. And there you have it. There's your mean, there's your median, there's your standard deviation, variance, range, min, max. That's pretty much all you need when we're doing the descriptive statistics. So the tool pack, the advantage of the tool pack is that it's quick and easy. You get all of these done at one time, just like I showed you, in really a matter of seconds. If you cannot get the tool pack installed for some reason, then you're going to use your equal functions. So I'll come over here to this cell and type in an equal sign, the word average, open parentheses, and then I'll go back to the acres and click and drag down those numbers. And then close parentheses, press enter, and you see that I'm going to get the same thing here. So you would just have to separately do those functions. Make sure that with standard deviation and variance that you use equal stdev, not .p. Don't use the top one, you'll get it wrong. .s, because it's samples that we're dealing with. Open parentheses, click and drag down the acres, close parentheses, press enter, and there's the standard deviation that we want. So you would just have to separately do that for each function. For the range, there's no equal function for it, so you have to do equal sign, max, open parentheses, click and drag down the acres, close parentheses, but then minus min, open parentheses, click and drag down my numbers, and close that. So max minus min, then press enter, and you'll see that you get the range. All right, so that was one of the things I was trying to show you. Download the spreadsheets that you use for discussions. There should be no, notice I didn't type in any numbers whatsoever. I just downloaded and did some clicking and got what I needed. Another thing is sorting. You're going to be working on graphs in Unit 3. And in particular, when I showed you how to do the stem and leaf plot, it's much easier if you sort the numbers first before you try to figure out what the stem plot's going to look like. So to sort, I'll go back up here and I'll just sort acres. And all you have to do to sort is go back to home on the top, and you'll see this over to the far right, this sort and filter. So what I'm going to do is take the acres, and if I click this whole, like click up here at letter E, it'll highlight that whole column. And, or you can just click and drag. And then what I'm going to do after I highlight, but you have to highlight it first, I'm going to click sort and filter. I'm going to click sort smallest to largest. And if it asks you whether you want to expand the selection, just always leave it checked off that you want to expand. What that's doing is taking the acres, and as it sorts the acres, it means it's moving the other columns along with it, so that so that it's still the same house all on one row, and you want it to do that. So expand the selection, just click sort, and notice the acres are now all in sorted order. It would be pretty easy to go to a stem and leaf plot. I mean, this would be tedious just because there's a lot of numbers, but it will make the ones in your Unit 3 homework really, really easy. Let's see, what else did I want to show you? Sorting and that. Okay, I think the only other thing that I was trying to show you all the other night, let me go ahead and pull it up on my screen. There is a homework problem in Unit 3. This is it. Y'all are looking at it hopefully on the screen right now. And it says construct a frequency table. Well, we covered the other night frequencies, relative frequencies, and cumulative frequencies without any interruption. So I feel like y'all should know how to do those now. But people, this is often, I guess, one of the tougher problems of Unit 3 in the past. I think it's just because of the numbers, and they're real messy looking with a lot of decimals. So I at least just wanted to give you a head start on this one. So you're going to click the icon to view the weights. Well, here they are. They're messy and go to 4 decimal places. And the key thing is they are not sorted. If they were sorted, you could just kind of go straight across the rows and add up how many were in this first group and then keep adding up how many in the second group and so forth. But they are not sorted. So I don't want anybody trying to type these things in yourself. That would be an absolute mess. I want you to come over here to the little magic icon. And then I want you to click Open in Excel. And down at the bottom left again, there's my data set already ready to be opened in Excel. So I'm going to click on that in the bottom left corner. And there are my numbers. Okay. So what I was going to tell you is that I would first, let me see if I can move these over just a little bit. All right. Yep. And hit this one. Okay. So now you should be seeing a split screen. I would first sort these numbers because you're trying to look at how many frequency of how many are between 0.7950, I'm over here to the left on the screen, 0.7950 and 0.7999. Well, they're not sorted. That's going to be a mess to try to look through all these numbers and figure that out. So I'm going to sort. I'm clicking my sort button up here. smallest to largest, and there they are sorted, okay? So that now all I got to do is count how many within this interval. Well, I only see one number in that interval. So it's really pretty easy once you've got them sorted, just go straight down and count how many. The next interval is from 0.8000 to 0.8049. Well, that's just the second number because already, well, actually, yeah. Actually, it's not even that one. That one's too big because it's the highest number in the group's got to be 0.8049. Well, 0.8057 is already too big. So that'll be a zero frequency. Then you got to go from 0.8050 to 0.8099. Well, that means I start here in the second cell, 8050 to 8099, and that's only these two numbers. And you just keep working your way down, but if it's sorted, it's going to be way easier. Like the next interval, 0.8100 to 0.8149. Well, that's going to be, let's see where I'm at, 0.8, no, it starts here, 0.8100 all the way down to 0.8149, but that stops here because the 0.8154 is too big. That's only 4 numbers that I highlighted. So the frequency would be 4. So needless to say, it's a much better, it's still a little tedious, but be patient with yourselves. It's just a much better way than having to deal with unsorted data. The other thing to be careful, you know how I've told y'all that every problem you pretty much want to read to see what format it wants. Notice it says type an integer or a simplified fraction. So in this case, you have to put your frequencies will be integers. Remember, they have to be whole numbers. But your relative frequencies will need to be left in fraction form. Remember how we just take the frequency divided by the total, and the total should be 36. There are 36 numbers here. So like, let's suppose in the, what was that last category? I got 4 numbers for the frequency. Well, you would just do then 4, your fraction would be 4 divided by 36, but you would then have to simplify that to 1/9 if you divide both top and bottom by 4. So for the relative frequency, you would put 1/9, and you would have to come down here to the bottom tool palette in MSL and use that fraction button that I'm pointing to right down here and put in 1/9. So, I mean, just a lot of the formatting and the messy numbers make that a tricky problem, but it's doable. But it's really only manageable if you just import, don't try to type these numbers in, and also use the sort button to help you. So, short little video, but, you know, it was just bugging me that I couldn't show you all those things, or I was trying to show y'all, but y'all couldn't see them the other night. So, just wanted to make sure that y'all were not going to be wasting any more time typing a bunch of stuff in throughout the course. So hope that's helpful. Y'all reach out if you need me for anything.